Welcome to Chanakya. Today we are going to visit Sri Lanka Crisis. Democracy has become a trolley problem in Sri Lanka. The president of Sri Lanka, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, has fled the country early Wednesday in the middle of the night. During massive protest on Saturday, 9 July 2022, tens of thousands of protesters broke through police barriers and stormed President Rajapaksa's official residence. Later that night, after a long standoff between the police and the protesters, the home of the Prime Minister Wickremesinghe was set on fire too. Having fled the city of Colombo with a navy ship, reaching Maldives with his wife, the Sri Lankan president Gotabaya Rajapaksa resigned from power on 14th July. It was a historic victory for the protesters who have been calling for Rajapaksa to resign in widespread protests since March 2022. Following Sri Lanka's heavy food, fuel and medicine shortages. All sales of petrol have been suspended, schools have been shut, and medical procedures and surgeries have been mostly cancelled indefinitely, and more than two-thirds of the country's 22 million population are struggling to find food. The collapse of tourism following the Easter attacks of 2019 and the COVID-19 pandemic has ruined the Sri Lankan economy. Constitutional reforms in 2020 have given the president extraordinary powers and his party's grip on parliament remains firm. For years, the Rajapaksas have been borrowing money from China for infrastructure projects which have yielded little benefit to the country. They have also lost revenue to its devastating tax cuts in 2019, which also led to a credit rating downgrade in 2020. In 2021, the president banned all chemical fertilizer use in Sri Lanka, which led to falling crop yields and increased inflation. Sri Lanka currently has about 2 billion in foreign exchange reserves against 7 billion in debt due in 2022. Having suffered for such a long time, the protesters that stormed the president's palace were shocked to see the luxury in which Rajapaksa, a former military man, was living while the people were starving. It has to be noted that the Rajapaksa's family, accused of corruption and mismanaging the economy for the gain of a few, it is said that more than 50% of the current government institutes and authorities are controlled by the Rajapaksa family. Sri Lanka's most powerful political dynasty was holding the positions of President, Prime Minister, Finance Minister and several other senior cabinet posts in the government. Amidst the serious economic and political crisis in Sri Lanka, India has increased vigilance on the international border. Surveillance, especially on the coast of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, has been intensified to prevent potential movement of refugees and anti-India elements from Sri Lanka. Most Sri Lankan fishermen do not have required license to cross the international maritime border line. It is noted that around 100 people have reached Indian beaches since the economic crisis in Sri Lanka and have been given refugee camps for Sri Lankan citizens in Mandapam of Tamil Nadu.